Good afternoon. I'm Frank Arogwin with Grace Lutheran Church, and we're doing another Walking Together, Talking Together. This time with Jeff Aldred and his wife, Marilee Aldred. Now, Grace Lutheran, I mentioned, it just happens to be right in the picture, right down the street there, about a block. But the way we start this, we're wondering, you both ended up here in Vail. So what do you really love or like about Vail? And let's start with Jeff. Now, Jeff was with Clearwater, and the only thing I know is it's in drip irrigation.
Correct, yeah.
So maybe you might tell us a little bit about that too. And you are our Viking football coach.
Yeah.
How many years?
This is season 7.
7
yeah.
already.
Yeah, already.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Tell us about a little bit about yourself, and then tell us too about Vail.
Okay, yeah, I was raised here, and then moved to Utah and met Marilee and convinced her to come back here about 11, 12 years ago now. And like you said, I'm with Clearwater. I've been with Clearwater for 11 years. And yeah, mainly drip irrigation. We specialize in onions, which is a big crop here in Mount Hero County. We handle about 12,000 acres out of our office there in Ontario, and been with Vail football for 8 years. Head coach is 7, and before that I coached a few years over in Nessa, and so been coaching ever since I've been back up here. And we lived in the city down near Salt Lake, and decided that it would probably be a better pace for us to raise our children in a small town like Vail, and opportunities came up where we could come here, and so we did.
Now, how many children?
We have 3.
3.
3.
And what are their ages and names?
So we have Alyssa, who goes by Allie, and she's 16. She's a sophomore. Brooks is 14, and he's in 8th grade, and Jace is 10 in 4th grade.
Now, Marilee is the trial court administrator for Mount Hero County. So that means she's the big boss down there in the office. We just follow her lead. And how many years have you been in that position now?
4 years almost in May. 4 years.
Already.
That's gone by fast.
Time is going fast. Well, it sounds like you were brought from Utah here. So what did it take for him to convince you to come here?
I kind of tricked her a little bit, but no, I think it really was, that area that we lived in, south of Salt Lake, it was really busy and growing faster than anybody could keep up with. It still is, and as our oldest Allie was getting into school, we realized that class sizes and things like that would be enormous, and there'd be a lot of kids in the school, and we would come up here and visit a lot for holidays and everything. And after one particular holiday, we just said, hey, let's try to make it so we can stay. And things worked out to where we could come up here.
You've seen the area, though, before.
Well, yes, lots of visiting family. So,
right.
Yeah, we came up here quite a bit. I worked for the airlines for a little while in Utah, so we would have free flight benefits and could travel back and forth and see family. So we were up here actually quite a bit. And Jeff didn't love living in the city, and I liked it here, so I thought it was probably good fit for us to just try it out and see how we liked it. And I instantly love this community. The people here are so genuine, and they're welcoming, and it's a great community to raise our kids. I kind of feel like it takes a village, and we definitely have one. There's always somebody. I'll get a phone call, hey, Jace is at the park. Do you just kind of watching out for our family, and that, and the fact that my family is all spread out. I have a brother in Michigan, and the rest of my family's in St. George, but Jeff has a lot of family here, and it was nice to have Gary and Nancy here close, have Grandma and Grandpa. So,
well, next endeavor, challenges. I know, particularly the courts, and I know I don't know the half of it. I'm kind of out of the picture anymore, but tell us about the challenges now with this coronavirus and what's been going on.
As far as the courts,
Yeah, and just your lives in general. What?
So challenges with the court, I think a lot of it has just been having, it's important. Our goal is access to justice and to make sure that people are getting the help that they need. And I think it's been hard with jury trials and things like that, social distancing and masks. And there's been times that we couldn't hold hearings, or things would have to be postponed or be held remotely. And so our dockets are really backed up, and we're just trying to catch up a lot. I think Judge Hung's done an awesome job of trying to keep us moving, and we're trying to do our staff is awesome at just getting things processed and through as quickly as we can, but a lot of it's out of our hands. So that's been a challenge there, but that we have an amazing staff, and they all work really hard.
A great staff. In fact, they make us what we are.
Yes.
Let's flip to sports. And I know
Okay.
you are right in the middle of it, school, and I know your kids and all. Tell us about that, the challenges you've been facing.
Well, it's been very challenging. I think these kids have had to adapt a lot more than I think we realize. The kids being quarantined at home was hard. We're lucky. We're some of the lucky ones with the kids the ages that ours are. So Allie could help out at home, and they were able to log on and do things a lot their own. And then when the school did get approved to go, the school districts did a great job of having a plan in place. And then shortly after that, they decided to have sports. And, it's just everything is off. It's just down to the way the wind blows. It seems different to try to get a football season in the spring. We started practice with 6 inches of snow on the ground, and we just finished practice a few minutes ago, nearly 70 degrees. So kind of opposite of what we're used to. We usually start hot and end cold, and there's been some protocols, and we scan the kids' temperatures every single day, and we ask them all the COVID-related questions, and contact tracing information is in place. And so, that on top of trying to put together a shortened season, and the kids have been great. They've adapted really well, and we've been in some every game's been close. We haven't won them all, but every game's been close. But it's a credit to these kids and to the older kids, especially the seniors, that are trying really hard to get some resemblance of a senior year in school. And I think, around town, if you see a kid in high school, or especially a senior, pat them on the back. Tell them that you're sorry for their experience, but you're glad they're trying. And it's been a good challenge, and I think it'll help these kids as adults. And this is a heck of a life lesson for them.
What's it like to play without the stands filled, all the Viking fans there, and volleyball inside now?
It's that first game that we had at home. Everything felt really normal until we walked back out onto the field. The pregame seemed normal, the locker room seemed normal. And, we had adjusted to masks and things like that by then. But then when we walked back out on the field, 40 minutes before kickoff, and usually at Vail we have a pretty early arriving crowd, people setting out blankets and stadium seats. And to look up there and see nobody, that first game especially, that was tough. It was really tough because, Vail really does a good job of supporting high school athletics. And when we walked back out here, and then you could hear the team across the field. You could hear everything the officials were saying. Just it was really strange. And like I said earlier, right down to the way the wind wasn't blowing the right direction. It was just super strange. And then as we've gone further on, we've been able to get some fans in the crowd, and that's been a big deal. That's been good. The kids seem to have a little pep in their step when they're playing. And we've noticed it watching our daughter who plays volleyball. And
last night, in fact.
Yeah, they had a great game.
Yeah, played really well last night against Nessa, and there was a few fans in there, and unfortunately can't have as many fans inside as you can outside. But the kids are adapting, and like I've told my team, it's all about them this year, just the kids on the team, and we try to make it as much about them this year as possible.
Great. And you started to say something a minute ago, and I just interrupted.
Oh,
Took your mind off of it.
I don't even know what it was.
Let's jump to another thing. So far as the challenges and all, what you have any suggestions about what we might do to kind of handle all of this?
Well, from my point of view, I think that in a small town, we fooled ourselves when we moved here, thinking that it would be a slower pace of life, but we're way busier here than we ever were when we lived in the city. But I think everybody should look for opportunities to volunteer, if it's going in and reading to school children, when things slow down with the restrictions, or trying to become an assistant coach or things like that. I think there's a lot of opportunities to volunteer, maybe with your local church or things like that, and looking for opportunities to help out around the community. And there's, in my opinion, just growing up here, I've seen there's been kind of a change of the guard with people around here, and I think it's time for people in mine and Marilee's generation to maybe step up a little bit, put yourself out there and help out in the community.
Great.
I honestly too, I just think we had a great example in Gary Como, and
yes,
he was constantly serving everybody. And this last year, our kids have really focused a lot on all the people and the stories that we've heard about their grandpa. And I think that we need to look for opportunities to help each other and to serve our community. And I think there's no greater relationship building activity than serving somebody. I feel like it brings happiness to us, it helps other people, but we're also making a difference in our community. So even through the pandemic, there's never a loss of somewhere to serve or something that can be done to help. So I think
step up
and help.
Sure.
Do your part.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Carrie Winger is right behind the camera in case her voice comes up. Before we get the last question, and it's going to be, what, when you wake up in the morning, are you grateful for? What do you say? Whatever you say. Carrie, do you have anything that maybe in this discussion we might pick up on?
Well, I just thought there's so many things you guys are probably proud of. You said you're proud of how your kids have stepped up, and if something came to mind that you're really proud of with your kids or your family, that might be a great thing to share.
Yeah, I think with our family and our friends, and then I see it at work and here at football, is people are resilient and they'll adapt and will move forward, and this too shall pass. And I think everybody, whatever your opinions are about what's going on, you just need to stay focused on what you can control. And you can control I tell the kids you can control your effort and you can control your attitude. And I think that's a lot of it when things are a little bit out of our control right now. You can focus on the things you can control.
All right. Well,
Yes?
I agree.
Okay,
yes.
now.
No.
You're getting up in the morning, and what
Go ahead.
do you say? I am grateful for, and maybe we can't even cover everything.
I
but
know
what?
there are so many things I feel like we have to be grateful for, but I am especially grateful for my family, for Jeff, for our kids, and for our extended family. Grateful for Nancy and for Nate and Angie and their family. It's awesome that our kids get to grow up in a community with their cousins. I never had that opportunity, and it's amazing. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for this community. It's beautiful. There was a time that I maybe didn't think that farmland was like the most beautiful. I grew up next to the mountains and lots of,
you too. Okay.
Yeah, but I love it here. It's maybe not so much in the winter. I wouldn't call it beautiful, but there's beauty.
There
It's
is
a little
Beauty
brown.
and everything.
And,
Yeah.
and
no,
see the green up there on the butte?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. I can recall bringing my wife Patty across the desert. Fortunately, we were already engaged, and her response was, "Where are the trees?" And they're little trees.
They're all
She said,
over.
They're not trees. That's scrub brush. We got here, and I can remember saying, "Look, the butte is turning green." She said, "That's not green. That's brown. That's always brown." But now, it wasn't too many years ago, she said, "Look, the butte is turning green. And I knew we had arrived. So it sounds like you've arrived too.
Yes, I do. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah,
And,
the great thing about this area is you get 4 distinct seasons, and you know, like we said, sometimes in the winter it gets a little cold and a little bit, you know, with the inversion and stuff like that. But I mean, look at it right now. I mean, some like spring and fall in this area is fantastic.
So we didn't get you up in the morning. What do you start out saying? I am grateful for this.
Well, I just know I'm lucky, and I've been blessed, and there's just a lot of things in my life that are going good, and I'm married well, and I surround myself with good people, and I have great coworkers, and I love all the coaches that I coach with, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
And you would agree he did marry well.
I feel the same way. I feel like I married
You
well.
as well. Okay, and as they have indicated,
There we go.
we are walking together, talking together in our community of Vail. And no matter what, we say, hey, we got a lot going for ourselves.